In this video, I will be demonstrating how to select and teach appropriate vocabulary and how to incorporate our vocabulary words into a lap book. Using our selected book, Too Many Tamales, it's time to choose some vocabulary words for instruction. All of the students on my language caseload have goals for vocabulary acquisition that align with the Common Core language standards, especially the standards 3 through 6. I will be working on deep knowledge of the target vocabulary words using evidence-based strategies. 3 sources in particular guide my selection. First, the work of Beck, Kukin, and McCown, described in their book, Bringing Words to Life, Robust Vocabulary Instruction, reminds me that I need to select Tier 2 words for instruction. Tier 2 words are those that occur frequently in many different contexts, and they're often encountered more in reading than in speaking. They allow students to express their thoughts in a more mature way. Second, the work of Barbara Aaron out of the University of Central Florida taught me to use the vocabulary scenario technique as an instructional tool to teach my selected vocabulary. And finally, McGregor and Duff's chapter on diverse and deep vocabulary knowledge, which is in Teresa Ukrainitz's recent book on school-age language intervention, provided supplemental activities to deepen students' knowledge of the target vocabulary. The first page of our book reads like this: "Snow drifted through the streets, and now that it was dusk, Christmas trees glittered in the windows." I can choose the word dusk as one of my vocabulary words. And throughout the rest of the text, I selected a total of 12 Tier 2 words. You don't need to choose that many words. 5 to 10 words should be sufficient. I created index cards that are pre-printed with each target vocabulary word. And then I created vocabulary scenarios for each word based on Barbara Aaron's guidelines. The scenarios are short, no more than 5 sentences. They make the meaning of the target vocabulary word very clear, and they only use words that the students already know. Here is an example of the scenario for the target word tugged. Notice the picture doesn't exactly match the scenario. That's okay, because it shows a different context in which we can use the word tugged. The students then come to consensus on a kid-friendly definition of the target word. In this case, pulled might be a good definition. And then they write that definition on the back side of the card. The next part of the vocabulary instruction is to go deeper in understanding the meaning of the target word. Based on McGregor and Duff's chapter, I create questions requiring critical thinking. First, give examples from contexts other than the ones in the story. So for tugged, I might say, "I tugged on my mom's arm to get her away from the shoe store." Number 2, I can ask students to provide examples. What is something that you have tugged on? Number 3, I ask the students to make a semantic judgment. Would you tug on a computer cord that was stuck behind a desk? Should you tug on your dog's tail to get him moving on a walk? Number 4, a demonstration. Show me gently how to tug on your own hair. Can you tug on a friend's arm? And finally, number 5, relate to other target words from the story. Should you tug on the bread dough while you knead it? Could you tug on the husk of a tamale to remove it? As the story is read and discussed, students are encouraged to listen for and to use their new vocabulary words. I save each student's vocabulary cards, and at the time that we assemble our lap book, they simply slip their vocabulary cards into the pocket that we have made for that purpose.